Lathrop. I'm the author of the children's book, Tatertown's Talent Show. Well, I love potatoes, and one day on a Wednesday I was reading the Portland Oregonian where they have recipes, and they had potato recipes. So I was looking at the recipes and I just kind of jotted down different names for potatoes, and I wrote down Spud and Yukon Gold, and it kind of evolved from there. That was on a Wednesday. And on Thursday, I had all these characters in my head, and I told my friend, I'm going to write a children's book. I've always wanted to write one. And she said, well, what it's going to be about? And I said, I have no idea, but I already have my characters. And so that was on a Thursday, and by Sunday of that same week, I had written 4 books. I'd written Tatertown's Talent Show, and then 3 sequels to it. My sister is the illustrator. She's an award-winning artist. She belongs to the National Watercolor Society, the Oregon Watercolor Society. So when I told her I'd written a book, she said, well, email it to me. So I did, and she started sketching characters. She said, let's do this. Let's illustrate the book. So we went to the beach on a weekend, and we illustrated the book. I would say I wrote it, like I said, I wrote the 4 books in 3 days. And then my sister and I started illustrating it, and we just did kind of a preliminary illustration. And then I showed it to some people I knew, and they said, you should try to find a publisher for this. And that's how I found Barclay Press and Springbrook Books. And so that whole process took, well, I was 67 when I wrote the book. And I finally had it published at 69. And so it took over maybe 2 years to find a publisher, and then I signed the contract in June of 2017, and the book came out in June of 2018. Well, I've always wanted to write one. I didn't know how to go about it, and the book just evolved. So just keep on with your dream and do what you want to do. I thought, I'm going to write a book, and I did. This is my first one, and the first one is published, so I think that's a success story. I hope they learn to accept everyone, no matter what their differences are, and they're kind. They need to be kind to everyone, and that's what the children, or the potatoes learned that first, because first they said, you know, somebody tell her to just go away, and then they got to know her while they were waiting backstage, and they thought, wow, she's really nice. I hope she does get a chance to try out. And then Spud Baker rejected her because she was an outsider, and then the potatoes talked him into letting her try out, and he saw how good she was. And then third, the town's potatoes rejected her because, you know, she was different. She wasn't allowed in the show, and they saw what she could do, and they learned to accept. And that's what I want children to learn, to get to know somebody before you reject them. My hope for this book, and it has been all along, that it's made into a short feature film. And I want children to see it and get the message and learn to accept people, and I want that so much. That's my goal, is to get this made into a little small feature film, short feature animated. Appreciate the chance to talk with you about my book.